Tom, let's start with you and the Chargers.
The LA Chargers, number one thing for the 2023 season, show me, stay healthy. Look back at last season. They went 10-7. They made the playoffs. They almost won a playoff game, but so many of their top players were not on the field for it. Let's see the board here of some of the games missed. Keenan Allen missed 7 games. Mike Williams missed 5 games. Jalen Guyton, another receiver, missed almost the entire season with a big-time knee injury. Rashawn Slater, one of the best young offensive tackles in the game, missed almost the entire season with a biceps injury. J.C. Jackson was one of the big scorers in free agency, missed almost the whole season. And then Joey Bosa, one of the dominant pass rushers in the league. One of the most important positions on a team, Sean, outside of the quarterback position. I would say it is left tackle, it is pass rusher. They didn't have either of those guys almost the entire time. I know they made some changes on the medical side through the course of this offseason. Maybe that's going to pay some dividends. The Chargers always seem like the team that's getting hit hard with injuries. Guys don't get back as quickly. Stay healthy. That's going to give you a shot. Number 2 on the list for the 2023 Chargers, Justin and Kellen sitting in a tree. P-A-S-S-I-N-G. That's nice. Right. It's Justin Herbert, Kellen Moore. They got to be on the same page. Kellen Moore had a lot of really good offenses in Dallas. Brandon Staley jumped all over him when it became available after the Cowboys decided to move in a different direction from a play-calling perspective here. Justin Herbert, one of the top young quarterbacks in the NFL, hasn't gotten over that hump in terms of winning a playoff game yet. He may well get a new contract before the start of this season, but it's about winning and winning big. They're staying in Justin Herbert's language. That should help the transition here. They're going to be doing a lot of different things schematically, philosophically through the course of this offseason. Unlock even more of Justin Herbert. And finally, beat the Chiefs. They've been close. Mahomes versus Herbert 5 times during Herbert's career so far. All 5 games, 1-score games. All 5 featured a lead change in the fourth quarter. The Chiefs in those 5 games have outscored the Chargers by a grand total of 9 points. They're 4-1, but these are all close games. You can make the argument, and Brandon Staley did it when I spoke to him last week, of saying this is one of the best rivalries in the NFL right now. The Chargers have not gotten past the Chiefs. Obviously, knocking off the best team, the reigning champs, the reigning NFL MVP, is a tall task, and that's something the Chargers are going to have to deal with as long as Patrick Mahomes is in the division. But beat the Chiefs. That's what it's ultimately all about here, not just in terms of the AFC West division, but also potential playoff matchup somewhere down the line.
The Chiefs are my team right now, and to your point, the 9 points that they've lost those 5 games in, I'm pretty sure Brandon Staley is going to go for 2 every single time. All right, the Chiefs. Here is my 3-point checklist right here for the defending Super Bowl champions. Number 1, they got to beat Detroit in Week 1. That's going to be a fun game to watch. But this is tackle football. There's a lot of great leagues, flag football out there. There's a lot of different kinds of football, but this is tackle football. I'm not talking about ball carriers. I'm talking about protecting the quarterback. The Chiefs went on and won the Super Bowl last year and then replaced both tackles this year. All right, we've got Donovan Smith, the perennial left tackle for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for a bunch of years, won a Super Bowl, has a ton of starts under his belt, only gave up 1 sack last season. And then at right tackle, Jawan Taylor, they signed from Jacksonville, gave him a huge deal. There was a little point in time where we weren't sure if Jawan was going to play left or not, and then they signed Donovan, so now Jawan will probably be at right tackle. Very athletic tackle, great hands. But if you're Patrick Mahomes, it's, wow, just a couple of years ago, we completely remorphed our entire offensive line, replaced all 5 of them, and now we got to replace the tackle. So they've got to figure out that situation and make Mahomes comfortable. Number 2, big play Bolden. Nick Bolden had an unbelievable season last year. He was second in the league in tackles with 180. He might have been their defensive MVP. He certainly was the defensive MVP from the Super Bowl. We all remember this play right here. Nick Bolden scooping up the fumble from Jalen Hurts and running it back for a touchdown. The Eagles' new cry now is Cry Eagles Cry, not Fly Eagles Fly, because of this one play. I know our producer Mark Grillo right here is cringing right now at the fact that we have to show that play. And this tweet from Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons, after that play, had a little shout out for Nick Bolden. Nick Bolden's that dude, man. He don't get enough attention. Well, guess what, Micah? We agree. We hear you. I'm giving us some love right now on Good Morning Football. Bolden's got to have a great season, back it up. And then let's go back to the offense now, all right? We know Patrick Mahomes, best quarterback in the league right now. Who's he throwing to? Who's his number 1 receiver? Look, Travis Kelce is his tight end. We know that's his go-to guy. But at some point, defense are going to say, you're not going to be able to throw the ball to Kelce. Somebody's got to step up. Is it Tony? I don't know. It feels good. Yeah, I'm with you on that one. That looks good. Is it Sky Moore? Is he going to be stepping up? Is it MVS right there making that acrobatic catch? He's made a couple nice catches in OTAs as well. So somebody's got to step up. I don't think it's wide receiver by committee There's Sky Moore making a big play, but somebody's going to have to step up and be that number one receiver for Patrick Mahomes on 3rd and 9. When Kelsey's not an option, who am I going to? That's who's got to figure out. There's my 1, 2, 3 right there. For the defending Super Bowl champions, can't wait to see them lower that banner again. And, of course, I'm sure they'll pay homage to Norma Hunt, who we lost this year as well.
Yeah. Denver Broncos. And most times with a new head coach, I'd say, look, this team's not going to make the playoffs. This team's got a shot. There's enough pieces. They can make the playoffs. But getting there, and even more important, beat the Chiefs. And it's more urgent for the Broncos than it is for the Chargers. I had research check this like 3 times. I just have to triple it. As a matter of fact, while I'm talking research, you can check it again. 15 in a row? The Chiefs have beaten the Broncos 15 in a row? Is that still correct? I'm waiting for them to tell me in my ear because I still don't believe it. Sean Payton, I talked about, it's correct, they said. Sean Payton, I talked about this yesterday. I said, Sean Payton has arrived. He's going to win some games against the Chiefs in the coming years. That is of the utmost urgency for the Denver Broncos here. Number 2, Broncos country. Let's run. They were, 21st in the league rushing-wise last year. That is not going to work for Russell Wilson. He needs a running game that he can work off of. Sean Payton, when he was the coach of the Saints, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The last 6 years he was the coach, they were ranked in the top half of the league in rushing attack. I know we think of him and Drew Brees throwing the ball all over the place, but running the football was a big part of what Payton did in New Orleans. Got to be a big part of what he does in Denver. Number 3, Vance. Have the time of your life. For real this time. Vance Joseph back as the defensive coordinator, said it wasn't anything that would stop him from taking this job, having been the head coach of the Denver Broncos before. In fact, he said he talked to Wade Phillips recently. Wade was the head coach of the Broncos, came back as the defensive coordinator, won a title as defensive coordinator of Denver. Wade telling him, follow in my footsteps. So that side of the ball going to be big for the Denver Broncos. Not just about Sean Payton's offense, Vance Joseph's defense as well.
I'm going to wrap things up with the Raiders and their 2023 checklist for success. And I'm pretty sure everybody knows what's probably going on top here. At number 1, let's go the Jimmy Gamble pays off. And I know what everyone's going to say. Okay, there's injury issues. It's all we talk about when it comes to Jimmy G. And then, what happened this offseason? We've got some injury issues and injury questions. However, let's just say that Jimmy's healthy. And on the checklist, they need this to happen. Jimmy's working his way back. The last time Jimmy played an entirely full, healthy season, it was 2019. In 2021, though, he missed just 1 game. And I think so much of it is about Jimmy's not on the field and Jimmy's it's the system and it's not Jimmy. But at the end of the day, if Jimmy's on the field, and we're going to pretend this is on the checklist, he's going to be on the field, he's going to play, Jimmy wins. So I'm so tired of hearing all the arguments about Jimmy wins, but Jimmy wins. What do you want out of your quarterback? You want him to throw for 400 yards a game and have an average record? Jimmy wins football games. He's 44-19 as a starter. So what is he bringing to Las Vegas? He is a quarterback that knows how to win games. How about number 2? Jimmy doesn't have to do it all himself. You know why? Because on this checklist would be Josh Jacobs cashes in. And, Mike G's little stat there about 15 in a row, Chiefs over the Broncos, it's unbelievable. Is it also unbelievable to say that Josh Jacobs might quietly be the league's leading rusher? It seems like he's underrated. And yet this is a guy that led the league and
he's still running on the Seahawks.
Led the league and rushing over 1,600 yards last season. And for some reason, I feel like he still doesn't get the respect that he is due. Jimmy G doesn't have to do everything. Hand this guy the football. This guy has yet another Josh Jacobs season. They're in really good shape. And then number 3, let's go to the defensive side of the ball. How about give me 3 aces? We know what Max Crosby can do. We know what Chandler Jones can do. And then they go out and draft this guy, Tyree Wilson, 7th overall out of Texas A&M. Everything on him. He is a beast. Put him on the field. Unleash him with the other 2. And this is a trio that could wreak havoc on quarterbacks across the National Football League. Give me the Raiders. Give me this checklist. Give me these guys taking some quarterbacks down. Here's my 3 for the Raiders. Mike.